Hello, Stephen Paul with Fritzy Brothers, and I'm here with my mom, Donna Jar.
Hello.
Mom decided about 3 years ago, after being asked by a woman that was expecting a baby, to make her a quilt. My mom has been doing quilts for how long, Mom?
Probably 40 years.
For
About
40
40 years.
years. These are some of the quilts that she has made that are part of her inventory at this time. And how much do your quilts get sold for, Mom?
Well, the baby quilts that are normally probably about 40, 45 inches square, I normally sell them for $200. But recently I started sending some to South Africa for my son John and the work that he does over there. So I thought when I'm selling quilts now, what I'll do is buy fabric specifically for South Africans so I can send them as many quilts as I can.
And if you would like to donate some funds for having some quilts sent to Arts for Youth, that is the corporation that my brother has in South Africa, bringing people from the States to teach them. He's opening up a school, keeping kids educated. And in South Africa, this is a very different thing because a lot of the parents don't want their children to go to school. That would mean that they would be smarter than them. And so it's a little mixed up. And my brother has been involved with this for 10 years or longer, and he lives more than half of the year in South Africa and then goes back to New York to get some more funds to come back to South Africa. But many of these quilts are available for purchase. This one here is one of the bigger quilts. What is that called? Full size, Mom?
This is full size, yes.
This is a full size quilt.
And it's grandma's. It's a grandmother's fan, but I place them in different areas so that they have kind of a different look when it's all finished. But it's considered a grandma's fan. The full size ones, this one I would probably charge $400 for because it was long and there was a lot of energy and a lot of fabric that went into it.
I think a lot of energy goes into each one of these, personally.
This fabric just struck my eyes. Just, you know how sometimes you just see something that you absolutely have to have. Well, I bought so much of it that I actually had enough to make another quilt with the same colors and things. It's just a different pattern here. Most of these and most of the ones that I make are either baby quilts or cuddle quilts, just to wrap yourself up in when you're watching television or reading a book or drinking a cup of coffee and you need something a little comfy on yourself.
Where does the joy come from?
Well, it's all pretty joyful. I love picking out fabric, and I have quite a bit of it in the storeroom here. I also love the part where I'm thinking, what am I going to do with all this pretty fabric? Sometimes I just leave it sit for about a year or so before I use it because I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it, which is what happens here with all this beautiful yellow fabric. I just let it sit there until a thought comes to my mind or a creative idea comes to my mind, and then I take out the fabric and go for it. I like it all, I really do. I sometimes, well, like I have maybe 7 of them that still have to be finished. So I think probably the part that I really enjoy the most is putting the top part together. It's the creative part for me.
When I make something like, I'll bring my brother Johnny up because he did this paper art thing. He would make art out of paper, and I really appreciated that, so I did some of that. And when I'm done with it and I give it away, it's a neat feeling. But to put a price on it was a difficult thing for me to do. How difficult was that for you to do, to put a price on it?
It was not difficult at all because I did not do it. I asked my daughter-in-law, Mimsy, so how much do you think this could go for? And then she would just share with me, and after I sold 3 or 4 of them, was like, wow, that's the right price.
Is it hard for you to let it go even?
Some of them are very hard for me, so I don't even put them for sale at that point until I'm ready to let them go. I have one here that the little bunny one up there. There is another quilts that I put a fox on, and these were just different, and I felt like this was my design, so it was harder for me to give that up. I cannot work with somebody else's fabric if they just buy me some fabric or whatever. I have a hard time with that because I have some specific colors that I love working with, and that's where my entertainment and joy come from.
Even in the things that I enjoy doing, there's some aspects of it that I do not very much appreciate about it. What is it that's you find most difficult when you're making a quilt?
I think sandwiching the three pieces together, the top, the batting, and the backing. When I get that finished, then I know that it's on the way of being finished, maybe only 2 days away. But after I'm finished with the top, it could sit there like those other 7 are sitting there for quite a while. I have 2 of them that are sitting over there that I finished the top, and I'm not sure when the rest of it's going to come together. And it's probably been there about 6 months. When I shop for fabric, I'm just thinking about the front of it, the very top of it. Now, I may not like with this one. I just knew I wanted it to be a yellow backing, but it had to be a specific yellow fabric that would go very nicely with this. So I'll just let it sit until I'm finished with that, and sometimes that's quite a while. But then putting them all together, I can't do that until I get the backing done, so I have to. It's kind of hard to find the specific fabrics that you want to use.
It's not until you walk into a fabric store that you see that certain color that you've been looking for, and
Right.
you're like, oh, that's it.
Yes, most of the time I'll end up taking the top of the quilts with me to the store so I can make certain that that's going to go as well as I like it to.
What is the way that you get your quilts sold?
I've been putting them on Facebook. I just feature one a week or so and let people know what I would probably use it for, if it's a baby quilt or and what size it is and everything, and I put that on Facebook. But I found that one woman bought, I don't know, 3 of them from me, different babies that were born into her family. A couple other times people just said, I want one that's all pink because it's for a girl, or I want this or that, and they trust me to make something that would be that color or that size.
What are the smaller ones called? Cuddle quilts?
Baby quilts, and they might just be 40 inches or so. Cuddle quilts, like I made these slightly bigger, probably 50 to 60 inches bigger, 50 to 60 inches square.
So how long would something like that take you to do?
This one,
How many hours would you say?
30 hours. So these are all the size that you could have somebody, like this would still be good for a little girl 3 or 4 years old to drag around and love on and put on the sofa. And
After they
washing, they
get washed and after they get used, there's just a really nice feel to it. It almost doesn't even feel like it was a homemade quilt right now. It feels like it was a store-bought quilt.
Really? Oh, that's good. I really love giving quilts away for a special occasion, especially like for when I was doing the last one for John. And just having a feeling that a quilt that I made is really on the other side of the world and somebody is enjoying it, just, it tickles me. I enjoy giving them away. Oh, here's the one I was talking about. Now, this one would have been hard for me to give away at one point or sell at one point because I just thought it was so cute. I wasn't ready to give it away yet. But I am now, so if you want to purchase it,
And how much is this one, Mom?
$200.
$200 for 30 hours of work. Not a bad deal. Or you could send $200 to Arts for Youth
Yes,
and get this to South Africa. Wouldn't that be cool?
I like that.
My brother John Lombardo would love that, and so would my mom. So we're going to put a number there, probably right about here. You could call or you could send a check, and we will either get this quilt to you or you could send a quilt to South Africa to keep someone else warm. Thanks for watching. Click the like button, make a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Fritzy Brothers.
All right.
Thanks, Mom.
Goodbye. Thank you.